Yes, welcome people. Right now we're in the studios of BLASTiD TV, and we're teaming up, linking up with Carnival Spot, newest thing on the internet, and it's all about Vincy Mas 2012. And today, first interview for the season, for the Carnival season, none other than the legend, the great, Galanaire from the Avalanche Orchestra Music Production. And like we say, we in BLASTiD TV. Wow, it's a pleasure being here and having Galanaire here.
Did you just refer to me as a legend?
Legend, sir. Legend indeed.
I mean, a legend is a real old person.
It seems, boy, and
I mean, I only did 10 years in this thing. Calling me a legend?
Like we say, sir, a legend. 10 years. You know how many people fighting to do 5 years in this thing? Give up after 2-3 years.
Okay.
10 years we could, what is it? We could walk with legend for now.
A John Legend.
So 10 years. So 10 years in the business.
Yeah, man. 10 years.
Wow. You kinda. And to think that, boy, time flying too, boy.
10 years in the soca business, in the soca arena, actually.
I guess prior to that, you had experience in you explore different genres.
Yeah, because before that, we used to experiment with dancehall music and
Yeah. I remember them days.
R&B, soul.
Okay.
That's where the true talent came from. Foundation.
Yeah. Alright, good stuff.
We experiment with soca because, being in the Caribbean, being in St. Vincent where we're from, I mean, that was the place where you actually get to be recognized as a local artist.
Okay, so that's how you move over down to soca.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I mean, like we say, it's the first official interview on Carnival Spot on BLASTiD TV in collab, and I mean, like we say, brace yourself for the next 10-15 minutes, right? We could only expect real stuff here. It's online now, we're keeping it totally real, so we're going to be asking them questions that you're only going to hear these questions answered on Carnival Spot and BLASTiD TV. Alright, now probably you need to send this link immediately to your friends as well.
Yes, click www.carnivalspot.com.
Keep it locked and spread the link right now. We're not taking any commercial breaks, so do it very quickly. Anyhow, I mean, let me dive in. Let me give the people some background. And just thinking back, right? I mean, we have known each other for over 50
we actually
years.
went to school. We was in the same class together, grammar school, right?
Grammar school, yes.
Yeah.
That was a few years ago.
Surprisingly, he did not become an artist or a musician. None of these things.
Very surprising.
Right.
I remember
I actually thought he was gonna be one,
but
I guess he didn't really have the talent. We understand.
Destiny. Destiny. But I mean, okay, God, let me do some background on you right now. Let the people who don't know, who don't already know. Let me talk first about, we know you're a multi-talented individual. You're an artist, you're a radio announcer, a DJ, producer, name it. You understand me? But I mean, a lot of people, they're not familiar with Jason Best, the individual. You understand me?
I can't tell when last I heard that name.
I'm telling you, plenty of people don't even know that's your real name. Jason
Well, you want to go and tell them?
You understand me?
Well, you want to go and tell them?
So when they hear Jason Best in the public, they know who they're talking about. If by chance you ever hear that name. But tell us about Jason Best and his upbringing.
Alright, Jason Best is actually the man that create everything you see, everything you know about me, my music. That's the man behind the whole creative aspect of it. Creating a personality, creating an image, creating a following, everything. That's a person that somewhat is very, quiet, very focused. Most of the time, pretty much occupied, always doing something.
Something positive.
Positive. Whenever we get into trouble, it's not something bad, you know. It's just to show people that, yo, we are here and we can do this. And these are the things that make us what we are today. You know, so Jason Best would be the person behind the Galanaire, the artist, Galanaire the producer, even Galanaire the musician, Galanaire the radio announcer. You know, he's the man that developed all these personalities and the creative part of it.
Okay, great.
He's the man behind the scenes.
Okay. We're gonna dive right in. I mean, back then, I mean, I could remember being in class in grammar school. You saw us being in the corner and things.
Yeah.
Even
I'm still in my corner, don't worry.
I remember this fella used to actually be, I mean, he would be knocking some drum, some desks and pretend to be a drum, pretend to be some sort of instrument, singing and doing his little thing. At one time he used to, I think, fashion yourself on degree, general degree.
Yeah, at that time, you know, when you listening to music, you have the artists that would actually capture your attention as to their particular song, their delivery, you know, their style, their creativity and everything like that. And one of the things about degree that I would have, you know, captured right away is that besides every other artist, the way he delivered his songs was a different type of delivery, you know. The energy was different, and he had this kind of smoothness about, you know, the charm and thing with the ladies. And
so is it fair to conclude that is one of the persons who inspired you?
yeah, definitely. In terms of when I was listening to dancehall music, of course there would have been the Beanie Man, the Buju, and the Bounty Killer. But you know, being my personality, I'm not very aggressive and, you know, hyper.
Right.
You know, we laid back and we just do big things, you know. So that kind of fall into the kind of person that I am. We just do things, we do it calm, and we do it big.
Okay. Let me ask you a question, Galanaire. I mean, at that age, I mean, growing up, you see yourself becoming a musician? Was this your main goal?
It wasn't something that I would have said, okay, at the age of 5 I want to be a musician. No. Right. But music has always been around me.
Okay.
You know, as far back as I could remember, my mom was a fan of music.
Right.
She have a Walkman on all the time. You know, my father had one of the biggest those times the house system that you had back then, you know, the silver,
I know it.
you know, this silver kind of
big knob on it
with a big knob in the middle, and that's the amplifier. And
we know what
from,
yeah.
And I used to love just go and just turn that knob like,
right,
and hear different things. You know what I mean? So to me, music always been something that been a part of me, you know.
So it was only natural for you to progress.
Yeah. It's something that I was comfortable around, and a peace of mind always came when music was around.
Okay.
You know?
Great. I mean, like I say, I mean, young, yes, but you have been around in the soca business, especially for about 10 years now. I mean, that's a lot of years in any industry. You understand? I mean,
yeah. The thing about the soca, for me, as much as it's 10 years, it actually feels like just 1 year with all the months combined.
Okay, right.
Because since I know Carnival is a seasonal thing.
Correct.
And we usually have to wait once a year, this particular time come around, and we songs together. But I was always writing and doing songs. When I actually started to get the opportunity to produce music, I was still in school, you know. That time I linked with the first person I actually went around was Shane Daniel. We had a little basement set up outside, and that was the first place I actually got to do recording. Right? And then after that, we move on to my brethren, Basic International, that one K2. And that's where I actually got the hands-on now to start a song from scratch. You get to learn the software, the programs, and the ins and outs, the equipment and whatnot. And I was very, very eager to learn those things. Because seeing it on TV, you know, it would capture my attention just to know how to start something from scratch.
Right.
You know.
But I want to ask you though, Galanaire, is, I mean, you've been around at some time now, and you must have experienced different levels, different success, failure, and so on. I mean, tell us about your lowest point in music and your highest point in music thus far.
The lowest point in music? We're
talking from Galanaire, the artist now.
Galanaire, the artist. Yeah. The lowest point in music is sometimes getting the final, like you have a song and you want to get it out. Personally, it wasn't about getting the song on the radio. It was actually getting the finished product.
Right.
The way that you had it in mind.
Yeah.
So sometimes you go somewhere and you get a song done, and the way that it's finalized, it's not the way you wanted it to be. So you figure that you wasted, your whole
time, effort, money as well.
Yeah. Well, but then I can't say that the opportunity I had, it was because of the talent that I had. Right. So whatever producer would have worked with me is because they say, look, this guy has potential.
Right.
Let me work with him. Let me see what he got, and let's develop something.
Okay.
Right? So, we had it wasn't, I wouldn't look at it as the worst, but because to me, if I fail at a particular, thing.
But you have been at shows before, Galanaire.
Well, yeah.
I think the people are gonna wonder. You have been at shows where possibly
well, shows.
You weren't happy with the judges.
Shows, competition. Let me talk about that. Honestly, personally, when I go to a competition and I take part in a competition, it's always for the fun. Right. Because I already know that, okay, this is a challenge for me. People would probably not know about you. But when you go out there, make sure that you leave something memorable to them, right? So I was always eager to go out on the stage. The stage was the place where I put out the things that nobody ever saw before, right? So you know me in the streets, whatever, you see me walking, but you don't know what I'm capable of until that moment where I got the opportunity to show you what I have.
Right.
And then at the end of the night, you get the results and you know to yourself you did well. Sometimes, I mean, as a person, me personally, I never satisfied.
Okay.
I would be hard on myself more than anything else. It's like you could have done this better. You messed up here. And then everybody would say, boy, that was awesome. That ain't good enough for me,
Couple years ago, I think precise, probably 3 years ago, you came, what was it, second or third with I think when you sound this song Action when I come in. You came second, was it second?
Yeah, second.
Second. A lot of people thought you should have won.
Yeah, a lot of people did. Because I think too is because of the nature of the song. Then me presenting the song.
You think you should have won?
Right? I don't know. I wouldn't
Was
say.
it that the same year and Fireman won?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it was 2 years ago.
Mm.
Okay.
My thing is I know I did a good job that night, and the people
Were you disappointed after disappointed about coming second?
After the way how the people reacted,
Yeah.
I was good.
It was okay.
Yeah,
Yes, you know the
I was good because the people recognize that, yeah, this is the man that moved me that night. Like, this is the man that had me there and you know, made me decide that, yo, he's the man that deserved the win.
So that was comforting to you.
Yeah, man. Come on.
Let me move right on. We're gonna make this interview flow, right? I mean, in previous years, I mean, we have heard patrons complaining about results and so on, and different things in the carnival. Let me get a feedback from Galanaire about your views, your thoughts on carnival. I mean, let me ask you a question, right? And I think the listeners gonna, you know, if you were the chairman of the CDC, what would you change?
I probably would change everything.
Yeah. Tell us.
Yeah, change everybody down to the cleaner. That's what I would do. I in my place and I could say what I want. That's what I would do.
Remember we on BLASTiD TV and we teaming up with Carnival Spot. So here we can say anything.
Anything goes, you're in my place, boss.
So what you say? You would change everything. So tell us more about that. Why you say that?
Well, why? Okay. Now we've had. Trust me, I'm not saying that they're not doing anything. I would never say that.
Right.
The body, the CDC is doing what they think is enough for the art form and to develop the culture. But I'm saying you need to go beyond just you making all the decisions. Why not get the view of the people who actually involved in making the thing happen? So you don't figure, okay, the final decision would come down to the chairman or whatever. You know, involve the artists, you involve the mass men, you involve everybody, the people. You know what I mean? Get the ideas from the people who actually involved in the thing. We are the songwriters, we are the musicians, we are the mass makers. Sometimes we even go back and get involved in the whole playing up mass and, you know, making music. We are the ones that come on the stage and perform for the people, right? So you need to know what is there you can do for us to make the festival much bigger than what it is. Okay. Make us feel more appreciated for what we are doing. Personally, back to the whole thing about competition, the shows. I figure not just the CDC, but a lot of different other promoters who do shows. I think they just, you know, they figure it's an opportunity to make money. Yes, we all want to make money, right? But sometimes not at somebody else's expense.
Right. Because
we the artists, we do make a lot of investment. Trust me. You ask any artist to go to the studio and record a song, how much you pay. You don't know the time that they have to put in to produce or get the song finished. You know? You don't know. It's very difficult. And sometimes when you have a competition, and I don't want anybody to think that it's a thing about money. It's not about money.
I mean, it's your life, so it must be about money.
This is art. I know a lot of artists in this business only depend on that, you know.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you this, right? I mean, I've spoken to quite a number of artists in St. Vincent artists, and I mean, I travel throughout the region, crap over Trinidad Carnival. I know compared to these other carnivals, these Vincentian artists, they make stipends.
Yo, we don't make nothing.
And I mean, a few artists have expressed, you know. I mean,
for some reason the artists don't come out and say. I don't know. They don't.
Privately, they do.
They don't come and they won't make a public statement and say, okay, I ain't happy with this, you know. And I think Carnival is a time where I find artists fight against each other for no reason at all. I mean, we all here, and if we work together, we can achieve something big in this art form. We are the ones that develop it, right? So we don't need to be fighting against one another to see who's gonna be the out front man, who's gonna be the most popular, who's gonna be the most famous, who have the biggest song. Right. Let the music speak for you. You know?
Yeah.
You do good music, you don't need to hype yourself again, you know. Because let me just draw this reference for you. So you have a big song today. And next year come. You have a big song, right?
Yeah.
The fans, yeah, boy, I love that song, baby. And they party whole season to it.
Right.
You know, next year if you ain't come with a big song,
people forget it.
They don't want to hear but you.
Correct.
So what is it? Where did the hype go?
Yeah. I
right?
think, like I said, I mean, what do you think is the reason? Yes, the promoters want to make money. Yes, of course, that's what they're in the business for. I mean, but do you think that
no, we don't have a proper.
A bit more.
I think we don't have a proper structure here where artists.
How can the artists protect themselves?
There's not right. There's nothing here for the artists to protect themselves against all these kind of treatment in the business, right? Basically, if you go around right now, I could say about 80 to 90% of the artists here manage themselves. I may be wrong, but that's just how I mean, I'm here and I speak to other artists, right? Because you see them when they come to a show, you don't see nobody come and say, "Yo, this is my manager."
Well, I mean, the reality
I'm
is,
representing right? This artist.
The reality is, with the list stipend you get, it's hard to pay a manager.
No, you can't, obviously. But what I'm saying, if it was that we had a proper.
Can the CDC step in and help out in this case?
Can they? Well, they have life, so I guess we all can, they're not crippled.
Yeah.
But I'm saying the interest has to be there.
Right.
Nobody is interested in that. You'll be surprised, right? When this season carnival come, when the actual carnival season reach, nobody is studying them things, yo. We studying, yo. We need to get a show to get people to come out. We need to get the artists who have the big songs to perform. Yeah. And we need to get them at the lowest price possible. Ask any artists out there right now, okay. I don't want to say myself, but just ask them. When a promoter approach you and you give him your price, he's not satisfied. He want to go down. He want to go down to the lowest price that he could get you for. Yeah. Right?
And I want to ask you
and it's your right. It's your right to say, look, this is what I'm working with. This is what I'm doing. Right?
I notice the time kind of moving by really quick. So I want to
yo, you're in my place. We have no time. Yo, the time don't exist here. You're in the place and we here.
No time.
We ain't got no time.
Okay,
we chopping up this thing here when we done and we put it on the
okay, so even if I put it up in 5 different places.
Yeah man, 5 different places. We have part 1, part 2, part 3.
We reason in that case we reason all night then.
So we are reason all night.
Let me ask you something, Galanaire. I mean,
yeah, man.
Previous last 2, 3, 4 years and you might argue and say this goes back way back, you know? I mean back then, but in terms of you have heard complaints, especially last year, about the content in the music, right? I mean, they say these songs are too vulgar along that line. I mean, that is a different, we're not debating now on whether previous year used to be more vulgar than now, right? That is not the debate now. The question I'm asking is, has the CDC stepped in and said, okay, well, we need to present better?
I find you asking me a lot of questions about what CDC has done.
I think we should have an
I
interview with them.
I don't really know what they do.
Remember, I asked you
I
to
don't
pretend
work
to
for
be
them.
CDC.
No, but I don't work for them and I don't
but
know.
As an artist, I mean, what have they been advocating anything? I mean, for the just basically sit
Listen
back
to me.
and let the artists do whatever they feel, and
I
they
don't know
have
of I don't know of anything of that sort.
any sort of interaction or me have
You know, the
with
only
CDC and
time
the
I
artists?
listen. This is the only time CDC get involved
Yeah.
with. Well, I should say, if I am ever involved or come into encounter with CDC, is if I'm entering a competition.
Yeah.
And they usually have a meeting before the show to say, okay, come sign your contract, whatever, whatever, and that's it.
Okay. So that's it. And I guess it's the same for the other artists as well.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
So,
And
so it's usually to deal with the competitions that,
yeah.
that they have during the carnival.
Right. And I don't want to make it seem as though I'm hitting
No, we don't bash CDC no time.
the CDC, right? I mean,
Yeah, they do what they want to do.
we commend them. I personally commend them for I have seen improvement in recent years. But we stand on the carnival itself. I personally believe
some things improve.
they have
right?
done some work.
Some things have improved.
So I'm commending the staff, the CDC, and that Mr. Ambrose and his staff, his team. However, there's always room for improvement, and nothing wrong with constructive criticism. So I'm hoping that you listen, you'll take it on board, and
we need more experience.
Future.
Listen, we need more experienced people in the culture, the whole cultural aspect of carnival. We need people who get really involved in the thing, who get the best people to do this. You know, you involve everybody as much as you can. Don't let anybody feel left out.
Right.
You understand? Because then we all want to get involved in the carnival, and then because you don't involve us, it's like I had to force myself to be involved in this.
Right.
So you now start to push yourself like you want to get, you know, somebody having a party and they ain't invite you,
crashing.
but you're crashing.
Right.
You're basically crashing. So we don't want to feel like we have to crash any party, because we know, right? And when I say we, I mean everybody that involved in carnival. I'm talking about the people that play mass, the mass men that make the costumes, whatever.
Yeah.
The people that set up the stage, you know, everybody, the artists, the producers, the musicians, everybody. Right now we feel like we have to see how much we could get out of this thing, for ourselves.
Yeah.
Like individually. Boy, I want to see how much things I could get out of this season. I want to see how much shows I could get on to make a money. You know what I mean? Yeah. I want to see how much songs I could release. It's about that right now. It's like you're trying to get into a place so people can recognize that you're there. You know what I mean?
Right. I understand.
Which one well you're supposed to don't know? Well, you're there. We need you. Come, do this, and do it well.
Let me zoom back in on Galanaire, right? I know a lot of the other artists, I mean, they don't talk about the profession. Like you say, some depend solely on music, carnival, you know. I mean, but Galanaire, we know, has a full-time job in as a radio announcer.
So you can't live off of music.
Right. But
so you have to have a job. You must have a job.
Right. In St. Vincent. So you can't, music in St. Vincent can't be a sole profession.
Nah, boss.
Okay. Right.
If any artist say tell you that,
Yeah.
them lie.
We say it's just a seasonal thing after carnival.
Seasonal.
You need to.
It's a season. Because look at it. After carnival, right? What is the next thing? What? 9 mornings?
Not even 9 mornings. I don't think a lot of artists make anything from 9 mornings, really.
Exactly.
So.
And it's a particular, the same set of people every year for 9 mornings. True. The same set of people that do carnival don't do 9 mornings.
Right. Correct.
And boy, you know, vice versa, whatever. You know, we used to have a festival called Blues Fest, which, and well, I was looking at this thing to grow and be the biggest thing after carnival.
That too has disappointed you?
Yeah, it hurt my heart deeply.
Okay.
We don't have that anymore.
Okay. Let me go back. Let me ask you, I mean, you're a professional, right? As a radio announcer. How much does that influence you as an artist?
It influenced me a lot because Um, you need to be always ahead of the game if you're gonna be there all the time. And being on the radio for me is something that helped me to develop what I am in terms of music. If a song comes out, I know what's the latest song, right? I know what it sounds like, right? I know if there's a new artist that on the scene, what makes him different than the old school guys? What makes him different than the other recurrent artists? I know that.
Yeah.
So you can say, oh, this artist is big. No, because he brought something different to the industry. You know what I mean? And you have to always do that. You have to always bring a fresh something to the industry. Fresh. You know? We don't really, we don't have twin songs. You know, if anybody has been following my music, I try my best as possible not to have any 2-3 of my songs sound the same like the other. You can't pull all of them together and say they link together. They feel like this one feel like that one, this remind me of this one. And that has been my mindset at all times when I'm doing any music. Yeah. You're not gonna hear the same thing from me twice.
Which is the biggest song you sung so far in your career?
Biggest song? I don't know. I never sold platinum. I'm just saying, right? But the biggest song for me, if you're gonna ask me what's my favorite song, that song will be a song called "Fussing Time" I did back in 2006, I believe.
I remember that, yeah.
Right? Because that was his song that made Vincent Johnson recognize that, you know, he is a product of St. Vincent. And the standard of what this song was done, yeah. It was something fresh and something young. You know, a lot of people was telling me that they never expected a youngster to bring something like that, such maturity and in the writing.
What produced that song then?
The song was originally produced by myself.
Okay.
It was additionally arranged by Adrian Bailey.
Okay.
And also the mixing and mastering.
Okay.
Yeah.
Which song you think was received mostly by the public, Vincent and public, and even abroad?
Well, that would have been, I think, it's either Fussing Time. There's also the song called Soca Rap, which was the first ever soca song that made that made, yeah, it was a crossover between rock and roll and soca.
Yeah.
Right? Which was also an experiment. So, and automatically it did make me recognize, because it was different than the other songs, yeah, that you heard in Simmons that year. Then it would have been Action when I come in 2 years ago. Right? That would have also been one of the bigger songs.
And I mean, I know this because obviously we like we said, we've been friends for a very long time and we have always kept in touch. During that time you were actually working full time in St. Lucia.
Yeah, because that was very surprising the way that year played out, because I didn't expect that I would have even come back from off my job to actually enter a competition. Yeah. Right? But the reception I was getting, you know, the feedback I was getting from over there, you know, people calling me and, you know, I listening to the radio, yeah, and I hearing the amount of plays I'm getting, and I say, nah, something going on over there. Yeah. And you know, if you're in a place, something going on over here, and you there over there, you know how that will make you feel, right?
It's good vibes.
It's like, yo, I have to go home.
It's a good vibe.
You know what I mean? So I end up coming home for the Carnival season. I wouldn't say did couple shows. I did 1 or 2 shows. I did the Raga Soca, and I did the Monday or whatever, you know, thing, because I couldn't be here for the whole all them shows.
Because you had a full-time job.
Right, I would go after my job.
Right.
Right? So we say, okay, making plans to come back home the following year. We say, alright. We will make plans one time for the next year.
Yes.
So right after action when I come in was the song Big Stick was written and produced one time.
Okay.
Right? So we had the song lined up for launch the next year already. And then when Big Stick came now, we had songs ready for this year already.
So we have songs already. Well, and how tonight so far? How
Yeah, we have a couple songs already for this year. You know?
Tell me.
Well, I was gonna say, seeing that I'm celebrating 10 years now, as a performer, you know, I think 10 years is good.
Definitely.
10 years is good.
Congrats.
So we were looking to do different things now. 10 years, we want to move on from.
And that goes right to my next question. What you exactly have in store for us on Carnival and Carnival Spot and BLASTiD TV? Tell the audience what you have in store for Vincy Mas 2012.
Personally, this year, I don't want to get too involved.
But you're already involved. You have 2 songs out
no,
you've been
yeah,
producing.
because it's
Are
part.
we
It's part.
talking about the competitions? You're not getting involved in the
Yeah, it's
competitions?
part of the whole celebration and
Yeah.
giving the people who were supporting me over the years something. You know, so we're in the studio. We're working on a lot of things, not just Carnival.
Right.
You know, we just made some good links in Trinidad. You know, and let me big up Chris Kwame one time. That's my good brethren, talented writer, talented producer as well. We're doing some collaborations with some Trinidad artists right now. We also have some other artists outside.
As an artist or producer, you mean?
Both.
Okay.
Yeah. Some names you will be familiar with, some names you probably would hear about for the first time. But it's our music, and we want to take it to another level. You know, being mature in the music now, we don't see things mediocre at no time. We don't see things as seasonal anymore. Well, for me personally, it wasn't seasonal in the first place, because I tried to do songs that would last a long time.
Right.
You know, you don't just want to hear, alright, after Carnival, we can't play that. We want to play the song after Carnival, probably the next year and years to come. The DJ should be anxious to come and find it and play it back. Just like we used to love to play, well, now we love to play the old school stuff.
Yeah.
Because it have that influence on us. The elements in the song make us want to go back and play it, and you can't get fed up. You know what I mean?
Are we gonna see Galanaire in a lot of live shows this season?
Personally, I can't answer that.
I know you have.
Because
I know you have
my little thing is
with the promoters.
I have my little thing with promoters right now, and let me say this up close. Cause me in my place, I mean I really for nobody know. Them quicker own me than me for them, right? Promoters need to respect artists and stop look to use artists to make the money, right? And just do your thing legit. Because right now we have a few promoters in St. Vincent that have some bad reputation. The names out there on the street real dirty. You know what I mean? And sometimes they want to come across as your friend and try to, you know, bring a thing to you like, me and you just deal good and we need to do something together. That don't work. You know what I mean? We need to be legit and be professional in the business. And you need to know what you can handle before you do it.
But let me ask you a question, Garen. Do you think like some the artists, like even the one, because I mean yes, we have mentioned in this interview a few minutes ago that some artists actually rely on this for a living, right? So
Sure.
is it possible that some artists sabotage others or make it more difficult for some, because some might actually accept the others won't? Like for you have your full-time job So you at least still have an income. But them who has, I mean, those ones, they have nothing at all. So they might have to take a pay cut.
You know, we just call this hungry season, eh?
Yeah.
We just call it the hungry season when artists, some artists really, I don't know, it's like you was in a prison for a whole year and then you're finally free. Now you're trying to get back on your feet or whatever.
You're trying to get as much as possible.
Yeah, so you're trying to gain as much as possible.
Yeah.
And you might even step on people just to get by, you know.
Yeah.
But I realize that, okay, if you try to cut off an ex-artist, even try to bring yourself lower than the rest artists in order for you to get ahead or get on a show. You don't stoop so low, because what's going to happen? You're going to end up on stoop until you stoop so low, then you just accept anything. You don't know how much you're worth. And then what's going to happen now? A next artist, brand new and fresh, going to come up, and you never see anything that really you work for. And next artist fresh come up, just come and take over. So nobody want to have nothing to do with you anymore, because you still know, right? But a person now should try and focus on being consistent, bringing the good music all the time.
Yeah.
And if you keep bringing good music, yo, you might be surprised outside in the world, somebody pay attention to your music.
Okay. You know? But what are you saying? I mean, I'm going to ask you just a couple more questions. You're saying that for this season 2012, Vincy Mas, that at this point, you're not too sure on your full involvement, how to what extent.
Yeah, in terms of performance, right? Shows just come because of the song that you have, or probably the level of performance that you can bring, right? Shows will also come because of the level of standard. Like, okay, a promoter know you can get for this small money, we'll just throw you in because, alright, you had a big song last year, right, and you're energetic, you could perform, so you might bring some people to the show.
Right.
Just to add up now, right? But then, I mean, look at it. If I'm an artist and I'm consistent every year, some of us even win titles, yeah, right? Obviously, every year you get a title, your price had to go up. So promoters should not have a problem with paying me my price. Even if I didn't win a title, yeah, I have songs that people, for sure, they want to come out and see me perform the songs. Yeah. So I give them a price. And usually artists should have a price, a set price. Yeah. Either you take it or leave it.
Right, because you're working.
I mean, some artists would, you know, you don't want to go overboard. You don't want to kill a promoter.
You will negotiate it.
You negotiate. Yeah. It's negotiable.
Right.
Right? But you don't let people come walk over and tell you they're giving you that. Even some of them promise you that they're going to pay you.
Yeah.
That's why you need to sort your stuff out before you agree to any sort of show that you're going to perform. Have something signed or something, at least. That's your right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But I'll tell you what, the problem there is that, remember we first, Galanaire said a while ago, and he did confess that a lot of the artists, he actually said about 80% of the artists are without a manager. So that could be the case as well.
You know, when they mention manager to some promoters, they'll be like, well, you want a manager for? Like, yo, you talking about manager. What you think you be? Right. That's the kind of respect that they want to give you. Yeah. And right then and there, you should just turn him down and say, yo, it's alright, keep your show. It's good. We good.
Yeah. So again,
you know,
it comes back to the artist with the artist accepting.
Yeah, we accept anything mediocre that the promoter want to give us. And sometimes promoters, you can't find them after the show. Right? But listen to me. I can't say that I never did it. There are promoters that I know and I work with before, they know me good, right? And we feel because they know me good that they could just come and say, alright, you're on the show, how much you can charge? I'm charging you this price. You could, it's either you could or you can't. Right. And negotiate.
Yeah.
But then when I negotiate with you, and then you still can't pay me that, what are you supposed to do with you?
Yeah, problem.
We gonna have problems there.
Yeah,
we gonna have problems.
And Galanaire tell us, it's down to the artists now to say, you know what, we've had enough.
Yeah.
You know, walk to. But again, there must be some sort of, you know, I mean, going forward, some sort of unity.
Yeah, we don't have that unity at all.
Yeah,
especially, look, I've seen in competition time where artists we had to go, well, you know, the CDC meeting and whatnot. And then the thing on the contract saying this, and then after the competition, nothing so.
Yeah.
They have a criteria there, and after the night, man breaking rules in the competition, still getting points. So it's like, what the hell? And nobody had nothing to say.
Right.
We just take the bullshit. You know what I mean? So it's like, I know I have boycotted a couple of carnivals. Good. Yeah, man. Because I know nobody going to miss me in the carnival. If I decide, look, I can say now personally I ain't going to do no carnival this year. Right. I could. I would do my music. It's mine. Right. My music are like kids, my kids. So they belong to me. I could say, oh, you know what, I could still Lego them songs, but after carnival, we shopping them out the country. You know, we want to get in St. Lucia Carnival, we want to get in Trinidad. Right. So we do some songs especially for them. Right. Because things ain't working out so good for we. But this is our thing. So we had to be involved. So when you put your best foot down and you start to do work, and you put your best foot forward to go out and perform on stage, and then at the end of the season, when you look back you say, wait, hold on, wait. Something missing, boy. I ain't see where I work. I ain't see where I work for.
Right.
You know what I mean? I can't see where I work for.
Probably
there's nothing to show.
Probably might get some expensive vehicle too.
Yo, you have people to pay.
Yeah.
Your light bill, well, in terms of when we walk in here, your light bill is higher around this time. Right? And you have to pay. Been like when say, well, you know, thing. You had to pay.
Yeah, the artists, I mean, you do incur some expenses, definitely.
Some artists gonna tell you, boy, I just want to give back my $500, my appearance fee because I go pay for the studio time or whatever. Nah, that ain't good enough.
Yeah. I mean, especially if you're doing it as a career and you have
if it's a career, it worth something.
Yeah.
You look outside the country and you see a lot of artists benefiting from the music. What is different? What is different about us? Why we can't do it too?
And I must credit the artists again in recent time where the music, I mean, it definitely could compete with anybody across.
Come on, man! You know, singing some music is the sweetest music in the Caribbean.